Welcome to St Vincent de Paul Society's Night Patrol training. In this video, we will seek to investigate the issues of homelessness in our region, the Sydney metropolitan region, our responsibilities while out on patrol, as well as Vinnie's policies and procedures. While a lot of us have done something with Vinnie's in the past, we want to know exactly before we begin who exactly is St Vincent de Paul Society and what do we do. St Vincent de Paul Society is a Catholic lay organisation, which means it's made up of unordained Catholics. And the organisation tries to foster opportunities for the Catholic laity to live out the gospel values. I often think of Matthew 25 when I work with St Vincent de Paul. As Jesus said, "I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me drink." These are two of the 14 corporal works of mercy. St Vincent de Paul Society, in all its works, tries to incorporate all 14 works, and these are just two of the ones that we use to engage with other people, and also to engage with our responsibility as Catholics to live that gospel message. Here at St Vincent de Paul Society, we aspire to demonstrate commitment, compassion, respect, and promote integrity, offering not a handout, but a hand-up approach to assisting not those well off in our society. Formed in 1833 by Frederick Osnam, a student of the University of Paris, he chose to name the society after the patron saint of charity, St Vincent de Paul. Within 21 years, in 1854, this organisation first came to Australia, and so as of this year, as of 2024, we've supported people and families living on the fringes for 170 years. So what exactly will we be doing? Our roster will have us on called Friday C. It's a revolving roster and we go out at least once a month, maybe two. And we drive the van. Sometimes referred to as Bus C, but as you can see in the image, it's actually a 12-seater van, which means that any Class C licence will allow you to drive this. We do have a policy that students are not to drive the van, but once you have graduated, we do not have a problem with that. You fit under our insurance. So on the night of on your Friday night that you go out with your team, you'll arrive here at Maria Gordon House. You can see the little office there with the high-vis vest behind the bins there. That's our little office where we have all the equipment for the bus. You'll turn up to Maria Gordon House in Lewisham, pack the bus, and we head. And from there, you'll stop off at 3 different locations. I'll always make sure that organised and inside that office there'll be sandwiches or soup to take out. There'll also be snack packs to take out, and during winter we sometimes bring blankets and sleeping bags, and you can find that inside there as well. So this is what the timetable looks like. I would arrive at about 6:30 to start packing the bus. By 7 o'clock you want to be finished packing the bus. Don't worry about making sandwiches because they'll be made prior. You won't need to worry about that. And from there, you'll head out to the first stop. It says here in our document, from 7 o'clock till 7:30, that's travelling time. However, it takes about 20 minutes to drive to the East Lakes Community Centre. You'll set up, serve coffee, sandwiches to anyone who wants it. You'll pack up at about 8 o'clock, maybe just a little bit before, and it's literally a couple of minute drive around to Slattery Place in East Lakes. And you'll get there about 8:05, and you're there for about half an hour, doing the same sort of thing. It's as you can see, it's a cul-de-sac there, and the community is very close there at Slattery Place. Once you've finished there, it's 8:35, head out to Maloney Place. It's about a 5-minute drive down the road once again to Maloney Place, and you'll park up there in the grass in the park just in front of the buildings. Once you've finished that, at 9:10, pack up and travel back to base for a debrief. So basically with the debrief, unless talk in the bus if you have anything you wish to discuss. You can, the team leader can write on the sheet any sorts of feedback that might be needed for the next night or might be needed to be passed on to the Vinnie's coordinator. And once you get back to Maria Gordon House, you'll want to empty the bus, leave it clean for the people for the next week, for the next night. St Vincent Paul Night Patrol goes out every single night of the year except for New Year's Eve because we can't get the bus through the crowds. Previously, we used to go into the city before COVID, hence we wouldn't take anyone under the age of 18, but now that we're not going out to the city anymore, we're going into East Lakes, we were able to drop that age to 16. But our school, we still want to make sure that people are year 11 and 12, mainly to that next level of maturity. Not saying that some year 10s aren't mature, but we also want to separate, year 11s and year 10s and make that a definitive kind of call there. The reason we stopped going to the city during COVID, we sent some people in to talk to the homeless there about where were they coming from, and the vast number of them were coming from East Lakes. So we thought, with 40 other companies going into the city to feed the homeless or provide a service there, we'll do what Vinnie's was always doing and going to them rather than them coming to us. Hence, we now go to East Lakes. So some of the people who might volunteer for the van: community groups, churches, neighbourhood centres, schools, students and teachers now, which is wonderful, study centres, members of the public. Currently, here we coordinate from St Patrick's College, the parish, the primary school, and the high school. So if there are members of the parish who wish to be involved, wonderful, have them sign up to join as well. If they're family members that you'd like to join up, they're part of our community too. Feeder schools, absolutely, they can join up as well. And then, as I said, teachers and students from the college, teachers, admin staff, up at the primary school as well. So don't be afraid to ask people if they'd like to join and participate too. So who do we assist on the van? Look, the van's open to anyone. We of course are targeting people who are less vulnerable in society. We're mainly working with what you'll come to know in this module. Secondary homeless people who live in mainly housing commission. However, if other members of the public see a van offering food, offering drink, wanting conversation, and they come over to wonder what's this about, don't turn them away. Feel free to feed them. Engage any member of the public who might show some form of interest, because this is a good way of saying, well, this is what we do. Perhaps other people want to be involved in this as well, and that's a wonderful thing. We don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable about coming to us, either seeking assistance or just misinformed about what we're there. Okay, we serve an average of 100 people each night, maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less. I usually say about 30 people per venue, and we go to the three different venues. And when we pack the buses, I usually pack 3 tubs with the various things in there, because if you give too much out at the first venue, there's not enough left for the last venue. So I like to try to separate things out a little bit evenly. One of the when we started to go to Maloney Place, one of the first things we noticed with a lot of the residents was that they were struggling, thinking that they weren't getting the same as everyone else. So it's a conscious decision on our part that we make sure that we separate things into maybe 3 different tubs, that everyone feels like they're also included and didn't feel like that they were left out. Visitors are likely to come from all categories of homelessness, but not all are homeless. And we'll talk about the 3 different levels of homelessness in just a moment. Many people visiting the van may have complex needs and may exhibit challenging behaviour. We'll talk about what top ways of dealing with challenging behaviour in a moment as well. But there could be mental health issues going on there. There could be depression. There could be a whole range of different sorts of things. So just being aware of the kind of people who we might come into contact with while we're out in our patrol. So as a volunteer, You have a duty to complete any ongoing training, and this is what this is all about. Okay, show commitment to the roster. When I first started here, they wanted people going out 4 times a year. Now, I felt that was a little bit impractical to a lot of people and families. So I've tried to organise it that people could get their name on, even if it was just once a year. I'm quite happy for that as well. To engage visitors in the van, and we'll talk about good communication skills in a moment. You'll be serving hot drinks and food, setting up and cleaning up as necessary. You're going to be working in a team. No less than 3 out a night. No more than about 10 if you've got students. I'd like 5 to 7, if probably 7 as an absolute max if you have no students. Just because you've all got to get into the vans as well. And I would generally have 2 people behind, if you minimum of 3, 2 people behind a table, 1 person in front of the table, moving around and just talking to residents, because as I said before, while the food and drink is all well and good, what they're really looking forward to is companionship, someone to listen to them and to make them feel like they're being heard. We need to have a genuine wish to come alongside all people, no matter their circumstances, in a safe and non-judgmental manner. And we'll talk about what are good topics to talk about and maybe what are good ones to stay away from. So when we talk about evangelising, we're not to evangelise in terms of our words. So please don't go in going, have you heard of our Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ? Don't go preaching the gospel or quoting the Bible. Allow their conversations to guide where the conversation goes. If a matter of faith arises in the conversations, allow the volunteers to express their belief and allow them to take the conversation where they need the conversation to go. We mainly evangelise through our through our actions. So in this sense, the fact that we're going out of our comfort zone to the fringes of society, working with those who are less fortunate than us, that's a good work. Okay. And that will be seen and admired. So we'll allow our evangelisation to end there. Finally, we want to adhere to the society ethos and all Vinnie's Van's policies and procedures, which we're going to touch on a little bit later in this video. A couple of main ones that I really want to talk about, though, first of all, are the high-vis vests. For your own safety, out on night patrol, please make sure before leaving the office that we put on our high-vis vests, just so you're present and recognisable. Just another couple of policies as well. Number 1, you're going to be handling food and drink, so making sure that in that stream there's a 2 to 4 hour rule. It's safe to consume prepared foods between when it's kept 5 to 60 degrees if it's at that temperature for under 4 hours, including preparation time. Less than 2 hours, use a fridge. Between 2 and 4 hours, use or throw out. More than 4 hours, we throw away. All sandwiches are either given away at site or thrown away. We never reuse the sandwiches the next day. So if you've finished your patrol and you've got sandwiches left, please don't put them back in the fridge. They won't be right for the next day. Try to encourage people to take more. It'll benefit them in the long run. Then, and if they don't, we can throw them away when you get back. Second of all, if we've got a half-drank milk, please feel free to give the half tub of milk out at the end of the night. We're not going to reuse that the next day either. Usually at Maloney Place, you'll have patrons that ask for it. In particular, there are 2 ladies that often, I'm going to say fight over it, but there's not really a fight. So just be aware that sometimes we want to kind of be fair. Who's had it? Did you have it yesterday? Okay, or did you have it? So making sure everyone gets an opportunity, maybe at the end of the night, that they might get the milk, and they'll ask for that, and that's okay too. Finally, another thing that we just need to be aware of, because we're going to be lifting and carrying things, especially while packing the bus, just how the 6 steps to safe listing, making sure that we're bending at the knees and not at the back, that we stand close to the load with your shoulders and your feet shoulder width apart. Apply a firm grip and move close to the load. Lift the load smoothly. Keep the load close to your body. I would encourage anyone who's got a bad back, ask some people to help, not the residents at these places obviously, but maybe because we're working in teams, we just make sure we assist each other and are aware of each other's shortcomings.